Hi, this is a question from Donna, and she says, "Hello, Andreas. Do any of your books discuss and deal with the topic of grief in detail? I'm interested in all your status updates and personally feel that grief and loss have tremendous impact on well-being, and I'm very interested in your thoughts and if they are documented anywhere. I feel closer to those I've lost when I remember them joyfully. In moments they were happy. But I think sometimes that people who are still physically alive die a little sometimes through the grief and loss they experience in their lives of parts of themselves, emotional and physical. Others they have loved, human and animal. I could go on. Loss is something many of us don't cope well with, and we see it as just that, loss. And I totally agree with you in this, in your opinion. And for me personally, I've gone through the experience of loss and grief, just like many other people on this planet, and I've greatly learned from it. And I can, refer back to, for example, when I was young and my father died very early. The initial loss obviously creates a great sense of emptiness because we are used to being with someone who's supposed to protect us, to be there for us, to care for us. On the other hand, we don't quite immediately recognize that the lack that or the loss that someone departing from us can cause is actually a way for us to fill that hole ourselves. So if there's something missing in our lives, in reality it is there to help us grow stronger in an area where we have not yet grown enough, and where there is an opportunity to make us feel deeper or create deeper roots into ourselves so that we can stand tall and stand strong in our own power and in our own happiness. And so when people leave and we grieve over them or for them, then this I've discovered causes them actually to be attached to us, and they cannot move on. I've seen many people who feel very, very sorry for if someone dies and passes on into another dimension, to the other side. We often refer to it in this way. So when a person crosses over or passes away, then it is best if we have happy thoughts for them, that we are actually joyful in their departing, and not mind really the loss that we experience ourselves, because that's not in their best interest, in our best interest. It is important that we allow ourselves time for the grieving, but also to be open-minded enough and open-hearted enough to respect and trust that when a person's time is up, regardless of whether this happens through an accident or through a physical ailment or any other reason, that their time was up. That means it was no longer necessary for them to be here and to continue on this physical journey, allowing them to be free of any physical limitations and to actually expand and move on in a way that is actually more joyful and harmonious for them than they would have otherwise had to endure on this physical plane. So if for any reason someone is leaving us, it is not because they intentionally want to leave us. It is because it is in their best and highest interest to leave. And we should celebrate them, not mourn them or grieve over this. That applies to animals too. I've been in contact with other animals that have passed, and they are enjoying their life on the other side just as much as people who have crossed over. So there's no real reason why we should be sad for anyone who crosses over. Oftentimes we have to go through a period of grievings, however, because there are certain things that we have not come to terms with in ourselves. So when we feel distraught and suffer greatly because of someone else leaving us, it's because there is an emptiness inside of us that was there to begin with, that we now need to learn to fill ourselves. So it is an opportunity to love ourselves, accept ourselves a little more, and to find other reasons to fill ourselves with the pleasure that we have beforehand sought from other people, particularly loved ones, that we somehow attached ourselves to and made ourselves dependent on. And so by them leaving us, they give us the opportunity to put that power back into ourselves, to learn to, instead of putting our love or looking for the love from others, to give that love back to ourselves and to embrace ourselves for who we are. That includes all the weaknesses, the shortcomings, anything that we didn't like about ourselves or do not like about ourselves, so that we can accept and love these parts of ourselves as well. And so the purpose of grieving in that respect is just for us to serve as an eye opener, to realize there is something that still needs adjusting in our own lives, that are related to some loss, some sense of emptiness, some lack inside of us that still needs to be loved and embraced. Thank you.